और जॉनी बेस्टो जब से आउट हुए हैं तब से बहुत ही शांत गेम जा रही है। और अब अगली गेंद कराने के लिए तैयार है। ये सवर की तीसरी गेंद, ओवर द विकेट बॉल कराएंगे, एक और डॉट बॉल, इसको सीधे बल्ले से डिफेंड किया। पॉइंट की दिशा में फील्डर वहां पर मौजूद है, एक डॉट बॉल रहेगी। पार्टनरशिप है इस वक्त 8 रन की 7 गेंदों पर। जेम्स विंस 12 पर ठहरे हैं, इयन मॉर्गन 4 पर ठहरे हैं। क्रैग यंग अब अपने सवर की चौथी गेंद कराएंगे, जिनका सामना करेंगे जेम्स विंस। ओवर द विकेट बॉल कराएंगे, एक और अच्छी बॉल, जेम्स विंस ने इसको किया है ब्लॉक, और एक और रही है डॉट बॉल। तो 4 की 4 बॉलें अब तक डॉट हुई हैं। कोशिश है क्रैग यंग की कि विकेट लेने में कामयाब हो जाए, लेकिन उस कोशिश में कामयाब नहीं हो पा रहे हैं। इस दफा पिच इन लाइन बॉल थी और थाई पैड पर लगी थी। क्रैग यंग अब 5वीं गेंद कराने के लिए हो चुके हैं तैयार, और उनका सामना करेंगे जेम्स विंस। 5वीं गेंद करेंगे और देखना यह होगा कि क्या क्रैग यंग इस 5वीं गेंद में विकेट लेने में कामयाब होंगे या नहीं। जेम्स विंस की कोशिश है कि बाउंड्री मार सके, अच्छी शॉट के लिए है, 2 रन की मांग होगी, और इस 2 रन के साथ स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ 24, 2 विकेट के नुकसान पर। यॉर्कर बॉल थी, इसको डीप स्क्वायर लेग की तरफ खेला, हल्का सा पंच किया था, फील्डर वहां मौजूद था, 2 रन मिलेंगे आराम से। क्रैग यंग की कोशिश है कि विकेट टू विकेट बॉल कराए, यहां पर इसी से विकेट ली जा सकती है बेहतर तरीके से। और गेम जिस तरीके से आगे बढ़ रही है, शानदार गेम जाते हुए, और हर एक बॉल को फुल बॉल कराने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। यही एक टेक्निक है, इस तरीके से आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। और अब आएगी सवर की आखिरी गेंद ओवर द विकेट, और ये आखिरी गेंद रहेगी डॉट बॉल। विंस को ऑफ साइड पर जाती हुई बॉल, उसको लेफ्ट की ओवर की समाप्ति। 5 ओवर के बाद 24, 2 विकेट के नुकसान पर। पावर प्ले के आधे ओवर हो चुके हैं और 2 विकेट्स का जो लक्ष्य था वो भी लिया जा चुका है। और अब देखना यह होगा कि पावर प्ले का कितना फायदा लिया जाता है, क्योंकि अगर मजीद 2 से 3 विकेट अगले 5 ओवरों में ली जाती हैं तो फिर आयरलैंड की टीम के पास चांसेस है इस मैच में कमबैक करने के, इस मैच में वापसी करने के, और इस चांस में किस हद तक कामयाब हो सकते हैं ये देखना होगा। बहुत ही कमाल का मैच जा रहा है, और अब तक आयरलैंड की टीम हावी हुई है इंग्लैंड की टीम पर। ये कब तक हावी रहेगी ये देखना होगा। क्लोज मैच है दोनों के हवाले से। अगली बॉल, पहली बॉल कराएंगे ओवर द विकेट, ऑफ साइड पर जाती है बॉल, इसको लेफ्ट किया है इयन मॉर्गन ने, और पहली बॉल डॉट रही है। ये जोड़ी अब तक बैक टू बैक बॉल करा रही है, और ये देखना होगा किस हद तक कामयाब होगी। गेम है बहुत कमाल की। और अब आए हुए हैं बॉल, मार्क एडायर बॉल करा रहे हैं यहां पर, और अब मार्क एडायर अपनी दूसरी गेंद कराने के लिए हो चुके हैं तैयार, और इयन मॉर्गन इस दूसरी गेंद को खेलने के लिए हो चुके हैं तैयार। एक और विकेट चाहिए होगी इस वक्त आयरलैंड की टीम को। भागते हुए आ रहे हैं, ओवर द विकेट बॉल कराएंगे, इस दफा सीधे बल्ले से किया है डिफेंड, और ये रहेगी डॉट बॉल। और दूसरी बॉल भी डॉट बॉल गई है। मॉर्गन अभी स्टार्ट में थोड़ा सा स्लो खेल रहे हैं। इयन मॉर्गन की कोशिश होगी कि ये पावर प्ले किसी तरीके से सही तरीके से गुजारा जाए, उसमें किस हद तक कामयाब होंगे ये देखना होगा। मार्क एडायर अब इस ओवर की तीसरी गेंद कराएंगे, और सामना करेंगे इयन मॉर्गन, इसको सीधे बल्ले से डिफेंड किया, दोबारा गई है गेंद बॉलर के पास, बैक टू बैक डॉट बॉल जाते हुए। अब तक की पार्टनरशिप 10 रन की हो चुकी है मात्र 13 बॉलों पर। जेम्स विंस 14 पर ठहरे हैं, इयन मॉर्गन 4 पर ठहरे हैं। पार्टनरशिप काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है दोनों की। और अब चौथी गेंद कराने के लिए तैयार है, अच्छी बॉल पड़ते हुए एक और डॉट बॉल। मार्क एडायर की चौथी गेंद भी इयन मॉर्गन ने डिफेंडेबल अंदाज में खेला और इसको डिफेंड भी किया है। बहरहाल हल्का सा आउटसाइड एज लगा था, लेकिन विकेट कीपर के पास जाने से पहले ही बॉल ने बाउंस किया। मार्क एडायर अब इस ओवर की 5वीं गेंद कराएंगे। इयन मॉर्गन तैयार है इस 5वीं गेंद को खेलने के लिए। क्या इसमें मार्क एडायर विकेट लेने में कामयाब होंगे? लेकिन नहीं, बल्कि एक डॉट बॉल पड़ी है अंदर की तरफ आते हुए, सीधे बल्ले से डिफेंड किया है इसको, डाउन द लेग साइड जाती हुई बॉल थी। सो बैक टू बैक डॉट बॉल मार्क एडायर की। और अब इस ओवर की आखिरी गेंद आएगी मार्क एडायर की, इनका सामना करेंगे इयन मॉर्गन। इस ओवर की आखिरी गेंद, मार्क एडायर तैयार है इस आखिरी गेंद को कराने के लिए और इयन मॉर्गन इस आखिरी गेंद को खेलने के लिए तैयार। क्या विकेट लेने में कामयाब होंगे इस आखिरी गेंद पर? इयन मॉर्गन है सामने और यहां पर चौका मार दिया है, बहुत खूबसूरत शॉट और इस चौके के साथ ओवर की समाप्ति हुई है। स्कोर बढ़कर हो चुका 6 ओवर के बाद 28, 2 विकेट के नुकसान पर। डीप एक्स्ट्रा कवर पर शॉट खेली थी और फील्डर रोकने में मुकम्मल नाकाम हुए थे और इस चौके के साथ अब स्कोर मजीद आगे बढ़ता हुआ और आयरलैंड की टीम जिस तरीके से खेल रही है, एक विकेट चाहिए होगी, स्पेशली इयन मॉर्गन की विकेट चाहिए होगी आयरलैंड की टीम को, क्योंकि अगर इयन मॉर्गन की विकेट न ले सके बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो सकती है। सो इयन मॉर्गन की विकेट लेना तो बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है ऐसी सिचुएशन में। देखना ये होगा कि क्या लेने में कामयाब होते हैं या नहीं। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फेज ऑफ द मैच है, खासकर ये जो पावर प्ले है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है दोनों टीमों के लिए। 2 विकेट्स ऑलरेडी चटका चुके हैं, देखना ये होगा कि मजीद कितने विकेट चटकाने में कामयाब होते हैं यहाँ पर। अगली गेंद कराएंगे, अगला बार अच्छा सा फ्लिक किया फील्डर से, थोड़ी सी चूक हुई है, 2 रन की मांग हो सकती है लेकिन 1 रन ही बनाया। स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ 29। इसको कवर की जानिब खेला था लेकिन फील्डर से थोड़ा चूक हुई और 1 रन बना लिए हैं यहाँ पर। बहुत ही कमाल की गेम जा रही है। क्रेग यंग अब इस ओवर की दूसरी गेंद कराएंगे, ये चौथा ओवर है क्रेग यंग का और सामना उनका करेंगे इयन मॉर्गन इस दूसरी गेंद को खेलने के लिए। ओवर में बॉल कराएंगे, एक और अच्छी गेंद शॉट इयन मॉर्गन की, 2 रन आसानी से मिल जाएंगे और ये पुल शॉट खेलना चाहते थे, सही तरीके से कनेक्ट नहीं हो पाए डीप के लेग पर। 2 रन के साथ स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ 31। काफी क्लोज गेम जा रही है। बहुत ही कमाल की गेम है, बहुत ही कमाल की गेम इस वक्त। और अब अगली गेंद कराएंगे क्रेग यंग, भागते हुए आ रहे ओवर विकेट, फुल बॉल थी, इसको सीधे बल्ले से खेला है स्ट्रेट डाउन द ग्राउंड एंड इट्स अ 4। स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ चुका 35 और बैक टू बैक चौका पड़ते हुए यहाँ पर। और अब काफी निराशा हो रही है क्योंकि 2 विकेट गिरने के बाद भी इतना अच्छा खेल रहे। क्रेग यंग अपने सफर की चौथी गेंद कराएंगे, भागते हुए आ रहे हैं ओवर विकेट, बॉल कराएंगे इस दफा ऑफ साइड पर जाती हुई बॉल, इसको लेफ्ट किया है सीधा फील्डर, विकेट कीपर के हाथ में गेंद गई है और ये एक और डॉट बॉल रही है। सो क्रेग यंग ने विकेट जरूर ली है लेकिन रन जिस तरीके से लीक हो रहे हैं उसको रोकना भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि इंग्लैंड के लिए मेरे ख्याल में यहाँ पर सिर्फ अगर इंग्लैंड की टीम किसी भी तरीके से कामयाब हो जाती है 250 से ऊपर रन बनाने में, तो आयरलैंड की टीम के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किलात हो सकती हैं। तो कोशिश करनी होगी कि आयरलैंड की टीम यहाँ पर विकेट्स लेने की कोशिश करे, वरना बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो जाएगी आयरलैंड की टीम को ये आगे बढ़ना। यहाँ पर 5वीं गेंद कराएंगे, एक और चौका पड़ा है यहाँ पर बैकवर्ड्स के लेग की तरफ, स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ 39। इस दफा फिर लूज डिलीवरी और इयन मॉर्गन ने बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ा। पार्टनरशिप 25 रन की हो चुकी है सिर्फ 21 बॉलों पर। बहुत ही कमाल की गेम जा रही है। इयन मॉर्गन जिस तरीके से खेलते चले जा रहे हैं, इनका रोकना लगभग बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है। काफी टफ गेम जा रही है, काफी टफ गेम। और अब क्रेग यंग अपने सवर की आखिरी गेंद कराएंगे, सामना करेंगे इयन मॉर्गन। अच्छी गेंद, ये गेंद अच्छी थी, अंदर की तरफ आई थी, खेलना चाहते थे इसको, बीट हुए, विकेट कीपर के हाथ में गेंद गई। ओवर की समाप्ति 7 ओवर के बाद 39, 2 विकेटों के नुकसान पर। एकदम हमारे साथ फैंस जुड़े हुए हैं, वो क्या कहते हैं कि कौन मैच जीतने वाला है? आप क्या समझते हैं कि ये मैच कौन जीतेगा? काफी क्लोज कंटेस्ट है। मलिकांत रूट हमारे साथ हैं, कमेंट्री की तारीफ करें। थैंक यू वेरी मच तमाम दोस्तों का जितने भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं और सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं स्ट्रीम को। शॉर्ट बॉल डाली है पिछले ओवर में क्रेग यंग ने, और 11 रन पड़े हैं उन्हें उस ओवर में। और अब बॉल कराएंगे अडायर। ये होगी इस ओवर की पहली गेंद, भागते हुए आ रहे हैं, सामना करेंगे विंस का और बैकवर्ड्स के अल्लाह की तरफ खेला है 1 रन के लिए। स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ 40। पार्टनरशिप बढ़कर 26 रन की हो चुकी है, काफी बेहतर। और अगर अडायर को देखें तो काफी स्ट्रेट बॉल कराते हैं, विकेट टू विकेट बॉल कराते हैं और ये बड़ा फायदा है। अगर आप स्ट्रेट बॉल कराते हैं तो इसका बहुत फायदा है।
Discussion now between Bowler and Josh Little and his captain. Kevin O'Brien returns the ball to the tall, stocky figure of Mark Adair. He was quite annoyed to get left out of the opening 2 matches in this series, so he has something to prove. And a full delivery outside the off stump is left by Morgan and through to Tucker. You played much of this ground, Charlotte?
Yeah, I have actually. I mean, it's become my home ground in the last 4 years. So, yeah, it's been nice to come back today. I think it's the first time I've been properly back in the ground since lockdown. We left on March the 23rd. And
it's a gorgeous location and feel to it.
Yeah, it certainly is on a summer's day, which is a nice day today.
There is in, down the track goes Morgan. Pulls that out on the onside, and that'll be 4 runs again for the England captain, who has demonstrated that he will not be hanging about today. He's getting the job, he's pushing on, and Morgan is grasping this match in full clutch of his gloves. 22 runs now, Morgan off 18 deliveries. England move on to 44 for 2 in the 8th over.
Yeah, it wasn't one of his greatest shots, it didn't quite time it, but it's the intent, isn't it? He doesn't want Adair just bowling at him. He looked to progress down the wicket. Got a thick inside edge there through wide mid-on.
Once you get past through the circle, it's going to race away. There is in, and that's wide of the off stump. Morgan reaching for it, didn't get anything on it, and taken by Tucker.
This is what's been so successful for this England team, is no matter what situation they're in, they always take the positive option, what they speak about a lot. They always take the attack to the opposition, and you know, they may lose a few wickets, but they back the depth of their order.
Well, they've a fellow to come in, Sam Billings, who's yet to be dismissed in this series. He's in splendid form. Adair into Morgan. Morgan back. Defensive shot offered and no run. Ireland still don't know at the end of the over there. 8 overs gone, 44 for 2. England, Ireland still not really sure what their next match is going to be in the Super League. They've already missed what should have been 2 home series of games, which have got to be rescheduled, and possibly the next game is going to be an away series with Afghanistan in January. But again, the women's team, they think they've got a World Cup qualifier coming up before the end of the year. The domestic Super Series got underway yesterday at Oak Hill in County Wicklow, as Craig Young is in, and that's a beautiful delivery and taken by Tucker. Big appeal. Was there an edge on that? The Ireland players certainly seem to think so, and they've gone for the review.
Yeah, that was a brilliant delivery by Craig Young. Just came back in at James Vince.
Original
there might have been a nick here.
It's a fair delivery. Can we go on to front on spin vision, please? Thank you.
It's a very confident decision by the Irish to review. It would have been an inside edge if it was an edge.
Ultra edge, please. Thank you. It's a flat line. Flat line. If you can hold it, there's a clear spike on the back.
That's a wicket. Vince is gone.
Can we go back on field and ready, please?
And he's making his...
Martin, I'm going to have to get you to reverse your decision to
off.
out. You're on screen
James
now.
Vince is gone. England 44 for 3. And Young has struck.
Yeah, that's a big blow for England and for James Vince. He felt this was his probably big opportunity to cement his place in this England team, but again he falls for a school in the teens, 16, and that was a good delivery from Craig Young.
Are his chances running out, Charlotte?
I think they are, Michael, if I'm honest. I think he's had a number of opportunities now, and I think we all know what a great cricketer he is, but he's just not quite made it at this level.
Yes, trudging off his home ground. And suddenly this game is back in the spin. And England, they've enjoyed sort of making it interesting for Ireland, haven't they? They wobbled a bit on Saturday with those 3 dismissals at the hands of Josh Little in the space of 6 balls, just to give Ireland a little smidgen of hope.
Well, I got home on Saturday and the game was really in the balance. It was 130 for 6, still needing 70 odd to win, and you felt like Ireland were in control, but David Willey has really been a thorn in Ireland's side. I think it just again shows the depth of the England team, but this is a big innings for Tom Banton, walking now out to wicket.
Yes, you talked before play started about the mindset of Tom Banton, the fact that he seems to have difficulty getting to grips with the middle order role he's being asked to play here, and the fact that he'd rather open the batting, but he's coming in here on 44 for 3, and he's having to do a certain amount of rebuilding with his captain.
Yeah, and I think young players, they've got to be able to adapt. So, you're not always going to come in your preferred position, and often younger players get the opportunity, in the middle order. And I think, I think we'll learn a lot about Tom Banton today, whether he has got that flexibility in his game to be able to bat in the middle order as well as the top.
Vince was caught Tucker bowled Young for 16 of 18 deliveries, and Tom Banton so far in this the international series opening match was caught Tucker bowled Young. He was caught Tucker bowled Camphor for 11, and on Saturday he was out for 15 LBW to Camphor. So on both occasions, as he gets off the mark with a little nudged square of the wicket in the onside off the bowling of Craig Young. Of course, Camphor has got him now 3 times, got him in a South Africa underage game too.
And that plays on your mind, doesn't it?
Will we see Curtis Camphor suddenly with ball in hand earlier than expected?
I think if I was Andrew Balbirnie, I'd be getting him straight on now and getting him to warm up and have another go at Tom Banton.
2 slips now as Morgan stands at the crease, ducks underneath that short delivery from the Irish bowler, and taken by Tucker. And the sun is out, lovely and bright here. The pitch is, as we look down on the Ageas Bowl, it's further to the right than the one used on Thursday and Saturday, so the boundary has been shifted accordingly, so there's a little sort of bare line where it used to be. Josh Little standing behind that bare line on the boundary. That's driven, and beautifully driven for 4 runs by the England captain. No point even chasing that delightful cover drive.
Yeah, he's in fine form, is Owen Morgan. It's a glorious shot through the covers, beautifully timed, just slightly over pitched, and he doesn't miss out through that area. He looks in fine touch, the England captain.
So really for Ireland at the minute, Charlotte, it's a case of keeping the boundaries down. This is how England are scoring, and Owen Morgan is collecting quite a few so far. 6-4 so far for the England captain. Young is in, a bit of fire in the belly. Is that off the helmet? Flies up into the air, and a chase by 3 Irish fielders to prevent it crossing the boundary. And runs for England. Leg by signalled, 49 for 3.
Yeah, that was a nasty blow to Owen Morgan. We've now got the team doctor coming on.
I suspect a new helmet will be needed for the England skipper.
Yeah, and the concussion test on the field. That was a nasty blow.
There was a bit of extra fire in that delivery, wasn't there? You could see it in the way that Young strained his body, put absolutely everything into that delivery. And Morgan now is going to get a little bit of treatment. And I think we'll get further thoughts from Charlotte Edwards. Well, that leg by did take England to the half century. They're currently 50 for 3. Morgan is on 26. Banton is on 1. There's 1 ball of the 9th over still to come. But as we wait for Owen Morgan to be past fit to continue, further thoughts from Charlotte, and then we'll hear from Kevin Hiles.
Yeah, the Irish bowlers have really gone short to Owen Morgan, and maybe they feel there is a weakness there. But this, he turned his back on that. He's hit him right on the back of the head, and that will be a nasty blow for him. I know he's had a problem in the past. When he played Australia, he got a really severe knock to the head. But this is protocol now. The physio will be out there giving him a concussion test. I think they normally ask what the score is and a various number of questions, but he looks okay. He's smiling, and let's hope Owen Morgan's okay to carry on.
Concussion tests are very important. I wouldn't want to make light of them, but you've just got me worried there that I wouldn't pass a concussion test at the best of times. What's the score? I've never had an idea. 50 for 3. Well done. After 8.5 overs. And this is the sort of time that Andrew Balbirnie was referring to in his interview ahead of play. We do this, Cricket Island that is, we create these moments, we shock for a little while, and then don't go on and finish the job off. Obviously, with only 3 wickets down, there is a lot of work still to be done, but these are the moments that he's referring to.
Yeah, I think this is quite a crucial moment. The England captain in on 26, and Tom Banton, who hasn't yet made an impact in this series so far. So if they can get 2 more wickets here and really put the pressure on the likes of Billings and Moeen Ali, but yeah, they do look really quite aggressive today in their lengths, their bowling, and so this is the moment, like you say, Kevin. This is where they've got to really be ruthless, and if they want to compete against the best teams in the world, that's what they need to do.
This helmet transfer is taking a bit of time because Owen wants it just right. He's got that little padded bit he wants to put around the back of the helmet on the inside as well. I know all about this because I've just had to fork out 80 odd quid for one for my 11-year-old. His head is such a shape, bless his cotton socks. I've had to go for the men's small.
Wow.
£80. And all this paraphernalia that comes with it as well to sort of pad it out. And dear, oh dear.
It's such a personal thing, though, and I've been hit on my helmet before, and they've taken it off and brought a new one on, and it's just never the same. So I can feel for Owen Morgan. He'll be wanting that to be absolutely right. But it was a big blow to the head.
Jason Roy 3 times in this series, been out to the bowling of Craig Young. Johnny Bairstow with one very impressive score in the middle of the series. That was 82 on Saturday, but either side a 2 and a 4. We've just seen the end of James Vince on what really was a crucial innings for James. It's for the selectors to think long and hard now, but it's got all the looks and the feel of a hugely frustrating situation for James Vince, such a talented individual. And we should now get the completion of this over, and it's Young coming into bowl, and that's Banton pushing it on the onside of straight. No run. So we finally get to complete the 9th over, and it's 50 for 3. Morgan's on 26, Banton on 1. But a real buzz, a real strong sense of purpose about Ireland because they made such a great start.
Yeah, they've really, and the fielders are backing the bowlers up as well. Good bit of fielding there at mid-on. They look really aggressive, and that's what they need to be. They need to look to take the England wickets, which they have. They've bowled good line and lengths, and now we've got a change of bowling.
Looks like Josh Little's about to come on now. Josh enjoyed his wicket a little bit too much when he got rid of Johnny Bairstow the other day, so much so that he picked up a demerit point by being found guilty of a level 1 breach of conduct. So let's just see if he sticks with the wickets today. He's in and he bowls, and that's an outside edge which flies along the ground down to 3rd man. We are on a different pitch to the first 2 matches. We're slightly to the right. If anything, we're a little bit more behind the bowler's arm than we were for matches 1 and 2. We're on a pitch which actually is probably fairly central to the square, but the boundary's just been pushed out a little towards the Shane Warne stand, out to the right hand side. And it's going to be Banton facing with 2 slips. And Josh Little took 3 wickets the other day, in now with his left arm. In a bowls one, swishing at that one. That didn't look so great from Banton. It's a shame if it turns out to be James Vince's last sort of hurrah internationally for England, here on this ground as well. Would love to have thought that, you know, that on this ground always have warm, loving feelings, and he will do, because he's had tremendous success with Hampshire here, his home ground, but may also have seen the end of things. But we wait and see. Time will tell. Little in and bowls and pushed onto the onside, and there will be no run. So the score remains 51 for 3. Weather-wise, well, it's predominantly cloudy, although away to the left-hand side, got a fair amount of blue sky, but it's pretty overcast here today. The sun was shining beautifully for an hour or two this morning, and it's been that sort of weather really over the last 5 or 6 days. Some glorious weather and a little bit of overcast. We thankfully have had no rain today, and hopefully that will stay the case throughout. And that one's a little closer, and he does play it very nicely off the back foot. There's Banton, that races through extra cover for a 4. He'll feel a little bit better for that. Takes England to 55 for 3.
Yeah, this was a nice shot off the back foot, just slightly short from Josh Little. Not too short though, just got in a good position. Didn't look to overhit the ball, and struck that lovely through the offside.
Listening to us today on Radio Ulster Media Wave, 5 Live Sports Extra, Radio 4 Long Wave, BBC Sport website and the BBC Sounds app. As Little comes in to bowl to Banton again. Well, again we'll find that gap. Will this have the legs to beat the fielder to the boundary rope? You know, I think it's just going to do so. It didn't go quite so quickly on that occasion, but it basically follows the same line, just a little slower to the boundary. That's successive 4s. 11 4s so far in the innings for England, and the score now 59 for 3 with 1 ball left of the 10th over.
Yeah, an identical shot really, just slightly tighter to Tom Banton, but he got in a good position again and just timed it through that offside.
Back to his mark, just a few yards inside the circle before he does a little shuffle. As Little should complete his first over here, reaching for it and down, I think bottom edge of the bat, down towards first slip, and it's fielded by Paul Sterling. So 9 off the over. England have moved their score after 10 overs in the power play to 59 for 3. Morgan on 27, Banton on 9. Ireland will take a lot of encouragement from those 3 wickets, but we need to reiterate that they've done this sort of thing before, and of course the bigger question marks in so many ways are over the batting anyway, which is to come later on. But they'll take that, I think, with Little having bowled 1 over for 9 runs, Young 5 overs, taken 2 for 30. A reminder also tonight, you can see the highlights on BBC 2 at 11:30, and a little later on the iPlayer, and right now in-play highlights on the BBC Sport website to follow the action. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing this afternoon, good afternoon to you. Coming up to 10 to 3. And the bowler was about to come in and begin his run up, and then had to wait for the formalities of the second phase of the game to be signalled by umpire Saggers. Next ball is driven beautifully by Morgan. Beautiful timing from Morgan. He failed in that second ODI, but of course he got a 36 first time around. That was all that was needed, and he seems to be finding the boundary here very neatly as well. He's taken that 1 blow to the helmet as he ducked into a shorter ball, but it's a lovely shot for 4. He moves to 31.
Yeah, such good timing from Owen Morgan. He looks in really good touch, and you always know when you're in good touch when you're hitting the ball nice and straight.
Bat raised, worked way through quite a gap there on the onside. It probably will only get them a single, mind you. 64 for 3, and Morgan on to 32. Struck 7 4s in the 34 minutes he's been out there. And to try and settle the nerves, he of course would have desperately tried to settle the nerves of James Vince when he first went out to the middle, having seen the early loss of both Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow. Sadly, Vince has since departed as well. And Banton currently awaits Craig Young. Moves across his stumps and plays and misses. That was a little bit close from the batter's point of view. And reasons for Ireland to be chirpy in the correct way of being chirpy. Out in the middle.
Yeah, I would imagine they're probably saying a few things to Tom Banton. They'll know that he's under pressure and he likes to be aggressive.
Scores of 11 and 15 so far for Banton. He's crouched, he's waiting, and he gets plenty of bat on that, really. Whether it was quite timed, but it's more or less straight to the fielder at mid-off. Half a tumbling stop to prevent the ball from going past him and allowing Banton to scamper a single or anything like that. Still got 2 slips in, a backward point, extra cover. Sorry, miss. Way to my right hand side, third man down here. Extra cover, mid-off, mid-on. Man moves a little square there on the leg side, a deep square leg. And then we've got Little down here at fine leg. There's Young